Have you ever felt like success has to be this extreme, painful thing? You gotta wake up at 4 a.m., jump in an ice bath, and work 80 hours a week just to get ahead. That's the story we're sold, right? But what if the real secret isn't about these huge, dramatic gestures? What if it's something way smaller and a whole lot smarter? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna get into right now. So on one side, you have the myth, the hustle culture that tells you it's all about pushing this giant boulder uphill. But the reality? It looks a lot more like what's on the right. It's not about the shock of an ice bath. It's about the consistency of getting just 1% better each day. It's not about grinding out more hours. It's about building smart systems and tiny habits that do the heavy lifting for you.
All right, so where do we even start with all this? Well, before you can change anything you do, you've got to start with the control center, your mind. Mastering your mindset, that's the absolute foundation for everything else that's going to follow.
You've probably heard this quote before, and man, is it true. Think about it. If you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, who see problems everywhere, that negativity just seeps in. It makes trying to make any real change in your own life feel almost impossible.
This is why you have to be the curator, the bouncer, really, for your own inner circle. You got to consciously create some distance from the constant negativity. And instead, seek out people who are focused on solving problems, on building things. And hey, if you can't find them in your immediate circle, no sweat. Today, your inner circle can be world-class authors, incredible podcasters, and amazing creators online.
Okay, here's a tiny habit that has a massive impact on your self-belief. Start what's called an I can do this file. Anytime you accomplish something you're proud of, write it down. But here's the secret sauce. Make sure you also write down the fear or the doubt you had to push through to get it done. Because, life has its down days. And on those days, pulling up this file is an incredible reminder of what you're actually capable of. And this leads to the final piece of this mindset puzzle. It's a simple truth. Whatever you focus on, you find more of. A super simple 1-minute habit of just writing down a few things you're grateful for each day literally trains your brain to start scanning for the positive. Seriously, it could be as simple as your coffee tasting just right this morning. That little shift in focus can change your whole outlook. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar. See, once you've got your head in the right space, now you can start to reclaim the one asset you can never, ever get back, your time. Just look at this number for a second, 10 hours. For a lot of people, that's how much time they spend commuting every single week. That's an entire extra workday. And it's so often just lost to mindlessly scrolling on our phones. But what if we reframe that? What if it's not lost time, but found time? The key is to use all those little pockets of empty time, waiting in line, sitting on the train, with what we can call portable tasks. These are just small things you can knock out on the go. You could track your finances, brainstorm a new idea, or hey, listen to one of those awesome podcasts from your new inner circle. Now, it's not just about finding more time, it's about using the time you have way more effectively. See, most of us think our energy is just a flat line all day, but it's not. We all have these natural cycles, these peaks and valleys of energy. And just understanding your personal pattern, that's a total game changer. So instead of fighting your own body, you just work with it. Use those high-energy morning hours for your most important, focused work. Save the easy, mindless admin tasks for that afternoon slump. And what about something that gives you energy, like a workout? Don't waste it when you're already fired up. Use it strategically to pull yourself out of an energy dip. When you start doing this, the quality of your output just skyrockets. And that leads us perfectly to our third and final pillar. Once your mind is right and your time is optimized, you've built the perfect foundation to finally take control of your money and start building the future you want. Let's just start with a really important question. I want you to be honest with yourself here. You work hard for your money, right? But is that money actually going towards the things you truly value? Or is it just kind of disappearing on things you're told you should want? This is a super simple but really powerful exercise you can do. First, just write down your top 3 values in life. Then pull up your bank or credit card statement from the last month. Where did your money actually go? Chances are you're going to find a gap between those 2 columns. And closing that gap, that's where true financial control begins. It's not about spending less, it's about spending better on what matters to you. To do that, we have to totally reframe how we think about saving. So many of us see it as a sacrifice, like we're depriving ourselves of something right now. But what if we saw it differently? Every dollar you save isn't gone forever. You're just using it to buy something amazing. Freedom, options, and security for your future self. It's really an act of empowerment. So what's the secret to making this all happen consistently? It's not about having superhuman discipline. It's about removing the need for discipline in the first place. And you do that with automation. Set up an automatic transfer to your savings account the day you get paid. Automate your bills. You make the smart decision one time, and then you let the system do the work. You put your financial plan on autopilot and free up all that mental energy.
So when you bring all this together, a focused mind, optimized time, and automated finances, you unlock maybe the most powerful force in the universe, the compounding effect. It's like a tiny snowball starting at the top of a huge mountain. Those little consistent actions, saving that extra dollar, reading that extra page, they start to build on each other, growing exponentially, until they become this unstoppable force that creates massive results. If you take only one single thing away from our time together, let it be this. Success is not about that one heroic, intense effort. It's about doing the small things right, day after day after day. In the long run, consistency will beat intensity. Every single time.
So I'll leave you with a final thought, a challenge, really. This isn't about overhauling your entire life tomorrow. It's about starting small. It could be reading for just 15 minutes, saving an extra 1%, or starting that I can do this file. So what is it? What's the one tiny habit you can start today that the future version of you will look back and be so thankful for?